Hi and welcome, chart artists. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. And let's get right into the price of Bitcoin over here. There we go. Hi and welcome, chart artists. I'm not feeling too well today, but I thought, the market is presenting some opportunities. Let's get into it. Let's tackle Bitcoin and go through a couple of alts. And by all means, if you have a couple of alts you'd like me to go through, please share them. I need to put the music a little bit soft over here. Right, please share, write in the comments what you'd like to know. We can go through it, chart it a little bit over here. And as always, please smash up the like, hit subscribe for future notifications, and let's get right into it. Okay. Cool. Looking here at the price of Bitcoin, a trade that I highlighted to my community this morning is this previous day point of control. Okay, if you're not part of our Discord community, please go down in the description right now, 25% discount, where I share all the alpha first. As you can see, here is our little Discord community, and early this morning I shared this trading scenario over here where I highlighted also that I've entered along, I've put my stop loss under the wick, and as soon as we moved into the green, I protected my position, and now we are in some great profits over here. Right. Let's just go back here. And this was this little entry over here where we entered the tap of the point of control. Okay. And what you want to do is you're waiting for the retracement, and as soon as you retrace, you enter, you put your stop loss. This is my style of trading. As soon as we move into green, I immediately move my stop loss to break even. Okay, and some people might ask why. It's because even if price moves down here and it stops me out and it gets acceptance back above the level, I will simply re-enter, put my stop loss below, and as soon as we move into the green, I follow the same process. I move my stop loss to break even, because I'd rather get stopped out once or twice without a loss than leaving my stop loss over here. You get stopped out with a loss, and it's just about risk management. I'm protecting my capital because the market is here to take your capital, and it's up to you to protect it. Okay, so at the end of the game, at the end of the day, this is a game of probabilities. It is here to take your money, and you are basically trading against thousands and hundreds of thousands of other people, including institutions, about who's getting a slice of the pie. Right. So that is the beautiful trade we took this morning, or during the day. I think around about in the afternoon, late afternoon, this trade played out, and currently sitting here in some nice little profits. Okay. Also, what you could have done is, if I zoom into this price action over here, keeping it simple. So there's a couple of strategies that you could have applied with these trades, and it's not always easy when you are in a ranging market. I prefer swing failure patterns like I did over here. Okay, let's just take the scribble out. I'm just going to keep it pure education today, share some knowledge. We can jump through some alts, and by all means, please, if you would like me to go through an alt, which is your favorite one, then please post it here in the comments down below and we can have a look at it. Right, so another strategy is my one-line strategy. Okay, and I've mentioned this yesterday in my live stream as well. If you've not watched my one-line strategy, do yourself a favor. Go onto your YouTube, click on Diavolt, you subscribe. You should have me on here. And then you will see I have a video upload called Easiest Trading Strategy. And it is really the easiest trading strategy. Please go watch. Sorry, I've got a mosquito flying around here, and there's one thing I don't like in life. That's a blood-sucking thing that flies around and sucks your blood while you are trying to sleep or do some work. Right, please go check out this video, and it might just change your life. Obviously, with good risk management, this strategy can be applied, and it works extremely well in trending markets. When the market is trending to the upwards or trending to the downwards, this is where I execute this trend strategy, and sometimes I apply it inside a range as well if there's an obvious opportunity for me. Right, let's go back here onto the price of Bitcoin. So you can see the basis of the strategy is you have a trend, you track the momentum to the downline or to the downside, and as soon as you have the breakout, you always, from a profit perspective, simple, you target the high, you put your stop below the low, you enter, and even at the retest is a better place to enter, and you can see we took the high. Okay, that's where you take profits, and that's where we fell down as well. Okay, then next trade. You have your momentum here to the downside, you enter, and you'll stop below the low, and you always have to make sure that your risk to reward is worth it. So you need to make friends with this tool, like, good friends, right? Is I'm targeting the highs, where am I entering, and where do I need to put my risk? So this tool tells you, why am I entering the trade? Where am I going to take profit, and how am I going to manage my risk? Okay, but the most important thing about this tool is how you're going to manage your risk. Okay, right, so typically what I would have done in this situation is I would have raised my stop below these weeks over here to make the risk to reward worth it, and that gives you a 3.22 risk to reward. Okay, and the reasoning for this is you don't want the price to come back into trend, because once the price comes back into trend, it is most likely going to continue momentum to the downside. Right, so it's up to you how you manage your risk, but always, as a rule of thumb, never risk more than 1% of your portfolio from a stop loss perspective. Okay, cool. Also, the way that I've played this trade is to say that, well, if you played the breakout strategy over here, you would have entered over here. Okay, if you played a swing failure pattern, you would have entered over here. So this now, you can see my stop was below the low. I entered over here at this line, sniper entry, targeting the highs. Now you have a 10.73 risk to reward, and as soon as we moved into the green, I de-risked my trade, which now means I've already taken profits here by this high. I've already taken 50% profits here by this high, so just leaving the remaining open to see if we're going to come and smash this high over here. Right, always a good idea to take profits by little pivot highs to the left. Okay, you can see as well, when we moved up here, we got a rejection. From this high over here, we got a rejection and then a retest and continuation to the upside. And it's not always that you get continuation to the upside, because when you are inside a range, sometimes it curls over and it falls down. That's why it's important to not always just aim for the highs and take profit as you move up. Okay, you can see again by this pivot, we got a rejection, and this could have easily done that. Right, but now it looks like we're finding some nice momentum here to the upside. So beautiful risk to reward trade over here. Cool, so let's zoom out. I can take the trends out. Also highlighted in our Discord community by Mr. Wizard. Mr. Wizard has been killing it inside of our Discord community. Here he also highlighted, Dewald, I'm seeing what you're seeing. I'm seeing the naked point of control. It's an SFP line. I have taken the trade here. I've been tracking the momentum, and this looks like a bump and run scenario. And Mr. Wizard, I think you've been killing it. And he asked, is this a bump and run? I said, definitely a possibility. And it took off. The trade was nice and profitable. And so the conversation continues. And really proud of some of the community members in here, absolutely smashing the trades, making huge, significant gains, and most importantly, practicing amazing risk management. Right, let's go back onto the 1 hour. And take this out the way. Just need to have a sip of water. While I sip my water, let's say hi to the community over here. Trevor Thagaval, Oru Thagaval. I hope I pronounced the names correctly here. Some people have some really weird YouTube names. Good night from India. Yes, it's also evening here in South Africa. First like from India. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love and the support. Hi, Dewald Legend. great to be here. Thanks for joining. Alan Clark, as always, I always see you here in the live streams, commenting on the videos. Really appreciate the love and the support. Good evening. Moon Boy or Moon Boot Boy. Hi, how are you? Andy looking different today. All good, bro? Andy is doing amazing. He's just busy, very busy at the moment. And yeah, we work well together and supporting each other, and some big things coming, some big things coming. So looking forward to what the future holds. Mr. Wizard, the man himself. I have just told everyone how you've been killing it inside the community. Well done on your awesome trades. Well done for managing your risk. I also know that you've done the masterclass, if I'm not mistaken. So well done on the trades. And this mosquito is really going to drive me insane inside the room today. I can hear it, I can feel it on my legs, and it is, you know, I need to go fetch my shotgun. Right. Okay, cool. When moving to Dubai, I don't know when I'm moving to Dubai. I think in the short term for me, I'll most probably be flying up and down quite frequently, working in the studio with Andy and the team, and we'll see what the future holds. I mean, it is considered the crypto capital of the world, so definitely not saying no. But for now, I'm still happy here in South Africa, and we'll definitely see how things progress. Right. Cool. Let's get into action over here. So from a larger time frame perspective, I'm still tracking this momentum here to the downside. And for those of you that don't know, you'll know that I can, I can make things very complicated from an Elliott wave perspective, but I can also trade using the simplest methods out there, where I just track momentum lines. Okay, I don't call them patterns, I don't call them bull flags. I literally use one line to do most of my trading. Okay. And in saying that, the one lesson that I have learned in the market is that the market trends for 30% of the time, give or take, and it ranges for 70% of the time. And I really came to a point where I've mastered trading the trends of the market. You know, when you have a trending market where I apply my one-line strategy, please go check out that video. But then when the market starts to range, that's where I struggled, because you don't always take the high, even when you apply your trend line strategies. And I had to learn how to trade 70% of the market, which is swing failure patterns, which is my next favorite strategy. Andy, I know, loves ranges. That's where he makes most of his money. And Andy has also been a great inspiration for me personally, and I've learned a lot from him. So now I can trade 100% of the market. When it's trending, I know what strategy to apply. When it's ranging, I know what strategy to apply. And yeah, whether the market is going up or down, there's also slight differences in the trend strategy, even when the market is dropping, because you will often find we climb the stairs up and we jump out the window down. So there is a little bit of a difference trading the market to the downside versus trading it to the upside. So if you've been through a bear market, you'll know exactly what I mean. It is super simple to trade a bull market. When you're in a wave or a third wave, from an Elliott wave perspective, and the market just goes up, and a rising tide raises all ships. But it's quite a different thing trading a range and trading a bear market, right? If you can master making consistent profits every month, trading regardless of market cycle, then you know you've nailed it, and you are on your way to be a successful day trader, perhaps leaving your 9 to 5. Okay, cool. Let's look at this price action here. The first thing I noticed this morning, some of the analysis I shared with the legends in our Discord this morning, is when I look at this range, we lost the range here this morning, and we're like, oh God, we're going down to lower levels. Okay, the world's coming to an end. We are going to come and claim the consolidation areas here down below. Right, but we still had, okay, if I take this out the way, and this is now pure education from a range perspective, is, did I close it? Session volume profile, here we go. Okay, when you switch on your session volume profile, okay, we still had an untapped point of control in this area. And what made this specific point of control for me so significant is if you just take the noise out the way, I like consolidations like this, where the candles are going up and down, up and down, up and down in the same area. It creates massive support or resistance depending on which way the price moves. Okay, when I saw this consolidation, I was like, hang on, it makes, just wait for it to load up, this point of control for me more significant. So if price had to come down here, I'm not going to get nervous. I'm definitely trading this opportunity. Okay, and that's exactly what happened. We tapped it and we moved away, and now we are back inside the range. Okay, that is what gave me the confidence to enter this trade. Also, if you just backtest the strategy slightly without going into too much detail, you can see how important the point of controls of each day is. Okay, so each this value area range represents each day, just for those of you, from an education perspective. And then you have a value area low, a point of control, and a value area high for each day. And from a range trading perspective, this is where you start looking at these things and identifying levels for possible rejections and resistance and support. Okay, so purely from a point of control perspective, here you can see we created a point of control over here. Price moved up. Okay, price moved up here. It came back down, and guess where it bounced? At the point of control. Right, beautiful swing failure pattern over here, claiming the high. Right, movement up, and it claimed the high. Right. There's a couple of examples in here. Point of control, also point of control, we broke down, we came back, we retested the point of control, and we found momentum here to the downside. Another example, that's basically the examples in here, but I guess you guys get the idea of how you use the session volume profile to identify trades inside of a range together with Fibonacci, daily levels and weekly levels. Okay, cool. I actually think we do have a daily level, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit further up. We have two untapped daily levels. We have a daily level over here and we have a daily level over here. Right, so I am still curious to see that, well, if we do find strength here to the upside, let me just clean this up a bit. If we do find strength here to the upside and we claim this high and we even go higher, I want to see how we are going to react at this daily level. Because one of two things are going to happen here. Okay, we are either going to smash through this level and you want to see high green volume kicking in, okay, to confirm and have a body of a candle close above that green line. Okay, usually when you have a closing candle above and you can have a little wick on top, that signals a breakout, and then you're possibly going to have a retest for continuation to the upside. So that is one scenario. The other scenario is we SFP, like I said, a nice little SFP over here. We SFP from this line, from this daily level where we come back up. You have a nice little wick and acceptance back below the level. And it often leaves on a higher time frame, like from the 1 hour to the 4 hour, it leaves a wick behind, even on the 15 minutes. Okay, I don't like to see closing candles above the level, especially if there's high green volume. If volume is low, it almost guarantees that you're going to fall down here. Okay, cool. But the other scenario is we fail to break out. Perhaps we even test the trend line. We have another attempt, nice little double top. I love double tops and double bottoms. Okay, for then continuation here to the downside, not claiming this high. Okay, that is scenario number 2 that I'm watching here at the moment from a trading probability perspective. For now, I just want to see what is CVD saying over here. Where did I hide my CVD? Okay, here's my CVD. So CVD also played ball. If you go, let me grab my tool and just look at CVD. This is where all the planets starts aligning. When we tapped that naked point of control over here, you can see we had beautiful bullish CVD, slightly on yellow, but aggressively on blue. Okay. That's where the planets align. The more boxes I tick. So for example, I have CVD showing me bullish CVD with this pivot to the downside. I have a point of control with a nice consolidation area over here. Okay, the more boxes I start ticking, the more risk I can apply. So I will typically go from 0.5% risking, 0.5% of my capital, up to 3% of my capital. And the more boxes I can tick, the more I will risk in a trade. If I can only tick one box, then I will typically use 0.5% of my capital. Okay. If I can tick 2 or 3 boxes, I will use 3% of my capital, meaning that when my stop loss hit, I will not lose more than 3%. Okay, that's what I mean. However you want to work out the leverage, I don't care. And it's not leverage that gets people wrecked, it's position size. And I don't think a lot of people realize it's position size that gets you wrecked, because if you are losing 5, 10, 20% when your stop loss gets hit over here, okay, that's when you get wrecked. Your position size is too big. So you can either trade 100% of your capital at 1x leverage, or you can trade 10% of your capital at 10x leverage, but your stop loss should never exceed 1% loss. Okay. Just a little bit of education from a risk management perspective, and I don't see a lot of people teaching proper risk management on their channels. All I see is go in, all in 7x, 5x, 10x leverage, and then every time your stop loss gets hit, there's 10% gone off your entire portfolio, right? And after a couple of trades, you bleed your account dry and you have nothing to trade with, and that's where revenge trading starts kicking in, and the wheels just starts going downhill from there. Okay, the bus just falls completely sideways when you start doing things like that. Risk management keeps you in the game, and it does make you significant profits, and it's, you know, a little bit of profit, a little bit of profit, a little bit of profit that makes you a successful trader week by week and month by month. Right, so a little bit of education over there. From a larger time frame perspective, and perhaps before we dive into that, let's go through some of the comments. Okay, I want to go through this scenario, and yesterday I did tackle some detailed Elliott wave scenarios over here. I'm not going to spend too much time on that today. I just would quickly want to share some love in terms of altcoins, the altcoins that I'm watching. Right. Moonboard boy, mosquito shotgun. Yeah, this mosquito, I don't know. I think it's down here by my leg, sucking some blood, but at least I don't see it. Mr. Wizard, appreciate the kind words. Learning from the masters. Yes, sir, but you know, it's all about you pulling the trigger as well. So please give some appreciation to yourself and a well done. And it's all about staying humble in this market, because I also learned the hard way that if you think that you've nailed it and you think that you've made it, the market will humble you very quickly if you don't stick to your risk management rules. And what I can see from Mr. Wizard here on Discord, he's been nailing it for the last couple of months. So well done. Right, Dario Cup Day. Hi, Deervolt. Hi, I see you. Mark Dutch. Hey, welcome to my channel, Mark Dutch. So great to see you here. I know he's a mod on Andy's channel. Mark Dutch is a mod on Koen's channel. Well done with your mod there on Koen's channel as well, Mark. I see you are really shooting the lights out from a moderator perspective. Right. Cool. Let's go through the larger time frame over here. Very simple. Without going into Elliott wave theory, we have a 1, 2, perhaps a 3, and we are busy with a 4th wave, potentially expecting a 5th wave here to the upside, where we could possibly see a deeper correction. Right, and keeping it simple, we have either completed the correction already, and this is now the first wave for more impulsive waves to come, or we are still going to find one more leg to the downside, grabbing some liquidity, then move up. Okay. From a bearish perspective, I have also highlighted that we could potentially even fall down from here without claiming this high. But what gives the probabilities a higher chance of getting one more leg to the upside is CVD. Okay, when I go onto CVD over here, let's zoom into the 15 minutes. I just want to show you guys what I mean. If you look at this consolidation area over here, without measuring pivots and looking at the pivots, if you see a consolidation like this, with CVD moving down, that to me is a ticket for doing that. Okay, and that's exactly what happened over here. Okay, let's go into, where was that price action? Just wait for it to load up. This price action over here. You guys remember when we made this consolidation before we had the impulse here to the upside? Look at what CVD did. Exactly the same thing. We zoom into this price structure. Okay, we had sideways consolidation, making higher lows, you know, that little blue flag, and then CVD moving down aggressively. And who won the battle? CVD. So CVD ticked this box, won the battle, and we broke to the upside. Okay. And perhaps, you know, this time will be different. I don't know. But looking at this price action over here, price moving sideways, you know, we're chopping up and down, up and down, but CVD moving down aggressively. For me to confirm a proper reversal, what I'd like to see from a technical perspective is price moving up and you start making bearish CVD against two pivots. So looking at this pivot over here, if CVD had to start moving up here aggressively, making a higher high in CVD, and you have lower lows in price action, that could be a big reversal sign that you are going to start having massive momentum to the downside. But I mean, look at blue here. Blue is just free falling here to the downside. Okay. And it doesn't mean that we are just going to shoot up from here. We could still have that one more claim of liquidity and then shoot up. But I mean, I can just imagine what's going to happen to CVD when price falls down here. Because then you can go and take a different pivot. Is to say that, well, perhaps CVD is not building up against these pivots. It's now building up against this pivot. Okay. And you can just imagine when price starts moving down, CVD is also going to start moving down aggressively. And then you have this situation. Okay. Massive bullish CVD. Okay. But for now, it looks like Bitcoin is finding some strength here to the upside. I see, you know, when social media tells you one thing, that I call Twitter the echo chamber. When social media tells you one thing, we have a double top, we're going to fall down from here. You know, perhaps you need to trade against the sentiment. Perhaps there's a little bit more gas in the tank for us to get one more high before we see a deeper correction to the downside. Right. I think that's enough of Bitcoin at the moment. Let's jump through some alts. And by the way, if you guys would like for me to go and check out one of your favorite altcoins, please post it in the comments below. I will have a look at it right now. But I've got a couple prepared here. And again, I've kept it simple. Let's start with Ethereum. Nice little, you see my one-line trend strategy has been playing out to perfection. Right, here again, I've been tracking this momentum here to the downside. I mentioned this yesterday in my live stream. We had a breakout, nice retest, and we came to claim the high. So beautiful trade over here. Okay, currently finding support here by this consolidation area. Consolidation areas to the left of the chart are very important bouncing levels. Right, it might not take the high, but usually, you know, when you take this little box over here, you can see that, okay, just make it green. You know, you want to keep support green, you want to keep resistance red. You can see you have a little consolidation area here to the left. You have momentum to the upside and you start falling down. There's a high probability that you are going to get a bounce over there. Right. And you see we had a bounce. The question now is, are we going to flip the support into resistance or come and claim the high once more, or have that parabolic move that everyone is now expecting from Ethereum here to the upside? Okay. Right, but for now, you have missed the boat on this trade over here. So perhaps the next momentum line, let's see if it makes sense. I'll be tracking that momentum line. So, you know, a scenario could be that we are going to range inside here and then have another breakout either to the upside or to the downside. You can also track this momentum. Right, so small bull flag, if you want to call it that. Take the scribble out. Let's go on. AR. Do you guys... Ooh, nice little breakout here on AR. Please don't get excited, and no financial advice. But I've been tracking, you can see my alarms are set here. Breakout, breakout, and potentially a breakout over here. What I do like about the breakout so far is that we have a body of a candle closing outside of the trend. Okay. Right, this could potentially be a retest, or we're going to find continuation here to the downside, or it's going to continue momentum here to the upside, coming to claim this high. Right, from a risk to reward perspective, let's work that out. You know, you don't just blindly click buy, you have to plan your trades. Okay, let's see if I had to enter this trade exactly where it is right now. 2.76, not bad. Okay, how far is the stop loss? My stop loss will be 7% away. You see why you don't just enter a trade blindly. Okay, what I would do in a situation like this is I will go into smaller time frames. You know, and I'm giving some alpha away here, guys. We usually teach this to our community members only. I'm giving some alpha away. Right, is to say I don't even see. Okay, perhaps, you know, you have to remember, if you do not put your stop loss where you're supposed to put your stop loss, you increase the probabilities of you being stopped out when a retest happens. But I would, for example, put my stop loss over there. Okay, if I do get stopped out, you know, you need, then at least it's a 2.85%. But I am not going to take a trade with a 7% stop loss. You need to go and calculate how much capital you need to deploy so that if price turns around over here and stops you out, that you do not lose more than 1% of your capital. I cannot stress how important risk management is. If you apply good risk management, we will still be having conversations in 10 years from now, doing trading together. If you're going to go in here 50x or 20x and hope for the best, you might get lucky with 1 or 2 trades, but I guarantee you 3 or 4 stoppages and you're out the game. Okay, cool. So AR looking juicy. Also from a higher time frame perspective, let me just take the brushes out here. I can remove this. Let's go here onto the 4 hour. See what's happening here. You can see a nice little breakout from this momentum here to the upside, tracking the momentum. And could we come and claim this high? Okay, high volume candles like this. I had a conversation with my brother this afternoon as well, and we had a conversation about this to say a high volume candle, whether it's green or red, in my case purple, is usually the start or the end of something. Okay, so this could either be the end of the momentum to the upside, or it could be the start of something where we're going to find further continuation to the upside. Right, but obviously only time will tell. For the moment, it looks like we are breaking through. It looks like there's some nice green volume starting to come in. The 4 hour candle still has, what, 1.5 hours, more than 1.5 hours before it closes. So for a confirmed trade, I at least want to see a 1 hour close above that trend. Oof, it looks like the retest played out. Okay, always nice to buy the retests. It's a much safer trade. Always nice to buy the retest, because when you buy retest, let me just put it this way, when you buy a retest, you can see what price did over here in order for you to make a better trading decision. Because often what happens is it comes up with price action, comes up with high volume. The body of the candle closes below the trend and it leaves a wick behind. When the wick is and the body of the candle is below the trend, that is usually a fake out. Okay, so your alarm goes off, it leaves a wick behind, you enter with your stops below the low, and the probability is extremely high that you're going to come and claim the low again. Okay, you want to see a body close outside the trend with some nice green volume kicking in. Okay, cool. Please come and trade with me. Just want to highlight this quickly. If I go onto the live stream, down in the description, pause this. Okay, down in the description for my community, you can go and grab an exclusive bonus by trading with Bybit, one of my favorite exchanges. You will get $30 back by only trading $100 or depositing $100 and trading $500 in volume, and you get 20% off your fees for 30 days. Go down in the description right now, sign up and come trade with me. Okay, I also have BingX, which I have been making huge amounts of profits scalping. and also Mexi. Mexi, you don't need KYC for the people that can't trade on Bybit. Mexi has currently got the lowest fees, and Mr. Wizard, I know that you are also a massive fan of Mexi at the moment because, you know, the fees are so low it makes scalping definitely worth it. Right, let's get back into the alpha. Let me read some comments. Mark Dutch, I typed you know, Mark Dutch is one of those people you have to read his comments in silent because you never know what he's going to get up to. He can be quite naughty in some of his comments. Like number 9 was mine, by the way. Nobody touch it. Yocasta, how are you able to check full? Yes, we can definitely look at have a look at Filecoin. It's also very similar to AR. Okay, Filecoin and AR are very similar projects where they basically storage projects. Where I know AR, I've done a little bit more research on AR. It is my favorite one. If I'm not mistaken, Filecoin has done an integration with Solana, so quite big bullish news on Filecoin at the moment as well. And we will definitely have a look at Filecoin for you. Moonboard Boy, Dario Gay, Mas. Any thoughts on CKB? Recently we had a good push, however there are 2 pivots. Bump and run line from, okay, we can have a look at CKB. I have no idea what CKB is, and perhaps I'll recognize the chart when I see it. And love Mexi. Yes, Mr. Wizard, I also love Mexi because of their low fees. Okay, a scalper's dream. You know, sometimes you put a trade on another exchange and a small little scalp trade with high leverage, and then the fees eats most of your profits, even if you're winning. You know, you think you're making $100 profit and you walk away with $60 or $68 profit, where with Mexi you don't even notice the fees. So down in the description, go sign up with Mexi and come trade with us. Right, let's go down the train. Let's go look at, open a new tab here. Let's go look at Filecoin quick. Actually, I do have Filecoin here at the bottom. I had a look at it the other day. Right, let's drag it across. Filecoin, very similar price action to AR. Okay, if I go here onto the daily, you can see how this has just been. And once the news with Solana, the integration news with the Solana was announced, this is basically what happened with Filecoin. Not an easy coin to trade because it has these wicks to the upside. I really don't like coins that do that, but it's typical behavior of low cap altcoins that do that. But look at this, beautiful. I'm here on the daily. Look at this. Let's just keep on zooming. Oh, it goes more. Oh my god. Okay, what a accumulation zone. If you have been buying Filecoin in this area, it literally looks like a bloody straight line compared to where it came from. Okay, so it took quite a hard knock during the bear market. It tried to find support here by these lows, and then another consolidation area over here, and this is where you want to accumulate. Okay, you found the floor. This is the floor. Okay, it's not going to go lower than that. So potentially what you're now looking at is the pivots to the left become your profit taking areas on the way up. Okay, I don't even want to go and work out what this could potentially mean. If you buy from a spot perspective, if you had to add to your bags from where we are right now, and we just look at this pivot, you're looking at 254%. Looking at this pivot over here. Okay, where I see an obvious target is obviously this resistance. Okay, wait, let me do this. Let's take the scribble out the way. As a first profit taking area, I would definitely be looking. Well, what a beautiful accumulation. Okay, this to me is a obvious resistance zone over here where you made the low, okay, which acted as support. You had the massive momentum to the upside. You came back down. You had the consolidation area. So from a spot perspective, this will be a definite profit taking area for me, okay, which could still leave you with 129, the top of the range here, 150%. Let's give or take 120% average. You do not need leverage to trade coins like these. All you need is a spot bag. Okay, nice green volume kicking in here, and you know, from a short-term perspective, I will be watching these pivots for potential profit-taking areas. If you are in a leverage trade, you know, short-term day trades, these are the areas that I will look at profit-taking. Okay, so can we find momentum up here? Perhaps consolidate at this area. If we can find strength to break out and flip this area into support, that could mean some nice little continued momentum to the upside. So what you want to see here from Filecoin is, grab my pen and delete the brushes. Okay, you want to see us break this resistance and flip it into support. Okay, you want to see this, a consolidation perhaps for continuation to the next pivot. There's a consolidation area over here, so that's also going to offer some resistance on the way up. Right, but really looking good from a spot perspective. But in all honesty, I think if you have not bought before we broke this trend, you know, you are FOMOing into a trade that could potentially still come and do a retest for then continuation to the upside. And this move down can be significant. If we had to SFP from this high, for example, and we come back down, you know, you're looking at 42% loss. So please do not FOMO into trades. Okay, there is massive upside, but if Bitcoin starts rejecting over here, you do not FOMO into trades. Right. The one thing that you guys will learn about me is that I am very strong on risk management. I am not going to create a YouTube channel where I tell people to go in all in on 10x leverage, look at my awesome trade, look at my screenshot of how much % I've made. I'm interested in P&L. I want to see your weekly P&L. I want to see your monthly P&L. And if you can show me that you are consistently making profit on your entire portfolio, that makes my heart happy. Right, a screenshot of 1000%. I know some YouTube influencers that will take $1 up and down 100x, and then they will post the winning trade, because you can't see how much money they've made and you can't see their weekly and monthly P&L. So don't be fooled by people's screenshots that shows thousands of percents. Right, okay, cool. That's basically Filecoin. Please do not FOMO into this trade. A buying opportunity for me where you want to add to your spot bags is if we break through here and we come back for a retest and we find consolidation, we're building up consolidation, which means we're flipping this resistance into support. That could be a load up zone. Okay, but for now we could do this. Okay, that's why I do not FOMO into trade unless you have a clear invalidation and you're willing to take the knock on the chin if we do find continuation to the downside. But for now, looking at the volume over here, it looks good. And the reason I'm also warning you guys against pullbacks like this is, like, look at this beautiful green volume over here where we had momentum to the upside, and what happened? We came crashing down. Okay, so just be careful. Just be careful. I do think if we come crashing down, if, you know, we have to have bullish and bearish scenarios, is that perhaps the retracement will take us to this consolidation area over here for support, build up a spring for then continuation, build up a spring for then continuation. Okay, cool. That is Filecoin. Right, let me look for that other coin that Mr. Wizard requested. What is it called? CKB. Let me see if I can find it. Mr. Wizard, CKB. Let's see, what is that? CKB. CKB USDT. CKB. Ooh, it looks familiar. It looks familiar. Perhaps I still have some drawings on this chart. Let's see. Okay. Holy crap. Looks like AR and Filecoin at the moment. Okay, well, definitely missed the boat on this breakout. Okay, I can see a nice little trend here. Trend here to the downside. Okay, we broke out. Nice little beautiful trend. We had the breakout. Beautiful green volume kicking in here. And please do not FOMO into trades. You wanted to get in here during these consolidations. What I mean by these consolidations, when you go into the 1 hour, then you start applying. When you see a breakout, you do not have to FOMO in, and I'll show you why. Okay, you have a breakout, and then what happens is, let me zoom in here. you can start applying my one-line strategy. Okay, you see the breakout, ooh, nice volume. Okay, I'm not going to FOMO, I'm going to sit on my hands, I'm going to relax. And then you start, it's not always easy with some of the altcoins. And then you have your momentum lines. Okay, to say that, well, I'm tracking the momentum here to the downside, and as soon as we break out again with some green volume, I will enter the trade. Okay, this is not the best looking one. Perhaps that's a better trend. This was not an easy one. You see, with low cap alts, they have these wicks that makes it difficult to do technical analysis on. But perhaps even this one over here, it's too straight. It's too straight. Okay. But this one is the one that I would have entered. Okay, makes beautiful sense. You have nice little 3 touch over there. You have 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th touch is usually the breakout. So this is the one that I would have entered. This is a little bit of a mess over here. Okay, and you could have gone into the 15-minute lower time frames to play the breakouts over here. But you see, if you do not FOMO into trades, okay, you wait. Is it going to break back? No, it's not breaking back. And then you see this forming, okay? That's where you want to get in. The confirmation bias, because holy crap, look at what happened to that. Okay, it just, oh, wow. How much is this, just out of curiosity? If you played the breakout here to the upside, 210%. Oh, you don't need leverage to play these trades. You do not need any leverage, okay? But now again, tracking this momentum here to the downside. So perhaps, Mr. Wizard, is this what you are checking from a bump and run scenario? Is this the on the 1 hour, or are you tracking smaller time frames here to the downside? Okay, but for now we're finding strength here by this consolidation area over here. So we have strong support. We have strong support over here. Okay. So you don't want to see us lose the support. If we lose the support, we can, go down, you retest it as the scene of the crime, you turn it into resistance, and you could find yourself back at this level over here. Remember the rule, consolidations to the left offer resistance and support when price comes down or up. Okay. So you want to see momentum hold here to the upside, and potentially this is the area that you will be looking at for a possible breakout to the upside to come and claim this high as a TP1 and as a TP2 this high over here, and even further depending on how Bitcoin plays ball and Bitcoin dominance. Okay, the mosquito is back. I see the mosquito. Right, okay, cool. Let's go through some comments. Algo, you want to have a look at Algo? I also want to have a look at Algo. I do have it on my list. Let's go through Algo. Okay, high picture, even bigger from the start. Okay, cool. Let's look here at the daily. Just want to take some of the scribble here out the way. Okay. Mr. Wizard. Yes, I think an obvious profit-taking area, and I can see we are actually fighting big resistance here at the moment, is look at this area over here. Okay, we need to stay above this area. So we have to acknowledge that we've broken through with high volume. Now you want to see this area hold. I think it's going to build up quite a long consolidation to confirm the support for continuation to the upside, of which this will then become my targets. My next target is there. Next target. Okay, your pivots becomes your profit-taking targets on the way up. I'm not sure if we're going to hit these top targets, because I do believe there's a lot of altcoins that will not see their all-time highs again, depending on how good the fundamentals are and so forth. Right, but you want to see, you can see great support over here. Massive support, nice consolidation area over here. We came back down, bounced. We came back down, bounced, and then we finally broke through and formed this beautiful consolidation area. So you want to see this area hold. Okay, so potentially a load up zone from a spot perspective if we do not break down and flip it into resistance and come and test the trend line once more. Okay, but volume is looking great. I must say, volume is looking great. It looks like this is, when they shock the heart, it looks like it got a little bit of a shock, and maybe perhaps it will, perhaps it will now, the heart will start beating. Let's see what happens over here. Okay, cool. Let's have a look at algo. I also have algo on my list. Let's zoom in here, see what is happening. I always like to zoom out first. Look at the daily, then you go into smaller time frames to see where you are. Right, you can see I have an alarm over here. We'll get to that. Oh, wow, algo. Same thing. Beautiful accumulation zone. High is still very far away. Obvious profit taking area in this zone. Make sure that you've got these levels marked out. You can see obvious resistance and support here. Okay. This is ultimately from this consolidation area over here. That's definitely a TP, one from a spot bag perspective. You don't want to wait until we claim the highs. You want to take some profits over here. Massive resistance. Okay, this should be red. Right, massive resistance up there, but I mean, it's still far away. It's still a long way away. Okay, 287%. Still massive gains, okay, to the upside. And by all means, if you're accumulating to hold during the next bull run, you can hold on to your bags. But the one lesson that I've learned during the last bull cycle is that I did not take enough profit. And now I am taking profits on the way up. No questions asked. Okay. Where are we? So basically you can see that I've been tracking this coin. Also one of my favorite altcoins that I like to track. It respects trend lines nicely. It has nice volume. For some reason my volume is switched off here. Let me just put that back. Cool. Okay, nice volume. This could potentially be, anything is possible, but what I'm seeing over here is this could potentially be a wave 1, 2, and we are now busy with a impulsive wave, third wave to the upside. Third Elliott waves are the best waves to trade. Okay, this is a wave 3. This is a wave 3. Look how beautiful it is. Wave 3s are very impulsive. They have high volume and you have low probabilities of being stopped out when you're playing long entries on third wave impulsive waves. So the first scenario is that this could potentially be a 1, 2, and 3 to the upside. Okay, it could also be an ABC correction. So nothing's cast in stone. It's just about observing price reaction as we get to each level. Is that we could break out here. Perhaps we break out. We test the resistance, failing to break through, and we come crashing down. Okay, making a lower high where this is an A, B, C to the downside, where the impulse is finished. You had 5 impulsive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the end of the structure, and you have an A, B, C to the downside, and you never know how low the C will go. Okay, but also that's what I'm saying, it can be a 1, 2, 3 scenario as well, where the A, B, C is completed already, and now we're making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the first wave inside the bigger third wave, where we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves inside of this wave. Okay, so definitely anything is possible from an Elliott wave perspective. But keeping things simple, we have found support. This should actually be support. Okay, that should be support. Let's make this support. Tracking the momentum here to the downside, you can see I have my alarm set, and if we do break out, I want to see how price is going to react with the breakout. I'll be patiently observing the breakout, making that ultimate decision whether I'm going to enter or not take the trade. But for now, we're holding this momentum here to the upside. Okay, I call these the home lines. Okay, whenever you come back to a home line, so this was a beautiful buy, but you wouldn't have known that this is a buy from a home line perspective, because we only formed the home line when we made this low, because my trend used to be over there. Okay, you can see we broke down. That's where you short. You have support that's now holding, and then you start finding momentum to the upside, and then you have a new home line which looks better. It's a 45-degree home line, which the look and feel is amazing. I like a trend line that is 45 degrees. Not Celsius, just degrees. Okay, cool. So any price action that comes back into the home line is considered good buying opportunities, because you can manage your risk very well, okay? Because it could do this, and then the home line becomes so far away that you just miss the buying opportunities, right? And then you start playing the breakouts to the upside. Right, what else? Let's read through a couple of more comments. Nogajan. Guys, if I pronounce your names incorrectly, please don't crucify me. Some people have like really weird names and I cannot pronounce everyone's name. So do maybe a contender for the one-line strat. A contender. What do you mean by contender for the one-line strategy? Nags. Okay, cool. I'll call you Nags from now on. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the live stream. Thanks for joining and supporting. And what else? I saw a nice little XRP. God. Really? If honest, my brother, if you are watching, and you will know that that is most probably the coin that I hate the most. And not because I hate XRP, it is the most difficult coin to chart. Even from an Elliott wave perspective, it like really drives me insane. So perhaps I saw another coin here. Let's go have a look at Rune. Right, Rune. Now we're talking. Rune, baby. Let's talk Rune. Okay. This is also a coin that I highlighted in our Discord community this morning, where we're basically tracking here the momentum here to the downside. And when we started breaking out here, I warned the community and I said, I want to see what's going to happen over here. I'm not convinced about this breakout. The one thing you have to remember about me is I don't just hear my alarm go off and enter. I want to see what's happening with price. I didn't see any nice green volume kicking in over here. Okay. And so I left it, and true as Bob, we found a rejection back inside the trend, and now we are currently still consolidating over here. So still tracking this momentum, right? I want to see what happens. I want to see a nice candle close outside the trend with high green volume kicking in. Okay, not high green volume, a wick outside the candle and the body below, because you can go down from there. Right, there's a couple of tips and tricks that you will learn from experience. If you've played thousands and thousands and thousands of breakout strategies, it's almost I can't even explain it. By looking at price action, you can already see whether it's going to be a fake out or not, just by looking at the price action over here. And it's sometimes difficult to try and carry over that knowledge because you've done it 1,000 times. You just know. Okay, so I'm trying my best to explain it and to teach our community how to do it and warn them against, please don't, no, this breakout doesn't look right. Doesn't look right for me. I'm going to wait a little bit. And yeah, let's see what happens if we do come test this trend line here again. So we're building up a little bit of a squeezy situation over here, which can either go, either up or down. There's only two directions, unfortunately, in the market. Right, let's look at the larger time frame. Rune is one of my favorites. And if I have to go as far as to say that Rune is most probably my most favorite altcoin, the one that I like to trade the most and the one that I have the biggest bag that I'm holding is Rune. Right, okay. Obviously, because it's my biggest bag and my favorite coin, I have been aggressively accumulating in the zone over here, right? Also, look at the obvious resistance here, obvious support and resistance where we broke through. Okay, there's a couple of trades that I took over there where we broke through, and now we haven't tested it as support just as yet. So what could happen here from a bullish perspective is you could look at it the two ways, is to say that we broke out, we made a lower high, and potentially we're still coming to test this area as support for then continuation to the upside. Okay. Another scenario is we break the trend and we continue the momentum to the upside. Okay, there's the home line. Oh, that's a very bad home line. Okay, let's take that out. I suppose let's do this. That looks way better. There's our home line. Okay, so any pullback into the home line is potentially a buying opportunity, where scenario 2 is that we come back into the home line and we have momentum to the upside to come and even claim this high, where this could potentially be a 1, 2, 3 wave here to the upside. Okay, it's all dependent on Bitcoin, and I must say, looking at the price of Bitcoin, I still feel that we are very close to a rejection area, and I'm not sure how hard the alts are going to bleed. Like, you know, if I go here onto the 8 hour and you zoom into the price of Bitcoin, we have just been rampaging since 10th of November 2022. We literally have just had upwards momentum, and then this spike here to the upside for me just looks like typical fifth wave behavior. You know, discussed this with my brother this morning as well, where this just looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and what happens when you complete a fifth wave to the upside, and when you go and work out the targets, everything balanced to perfection? Okay, we can still have a little bit of a wick and a spike up here before we see a correction, but when you complete the fifth wave, you have a correction to the downside, which is typically the A wave likes to retrace to wave 4, which we could see A, B, C to the downside coming to test these highs. Okay, it just looks like a fifth wave. I mean, anything is possible in this market, chartists, but the one thing I can tell you is that it is not likely. There's a low probability of us just having a small consolidation here and doing this and continue and continue and continue and continue. It doesn't make sense. The market needs to cool off. It's overbought. We need a little bit of a reset to get the leverage out, to, you know, create some fear. We need to create some fear so we can buy a little bit more. I want to buy a little bit more, and this looks like a fifth wave to me. And typical things that I look for in a fifth wave is that little Bart Simpson, the spiky hair on top. You know, usually when you have a sharp impulse to the upside and you start consolidating sideways and you zoom into that price structure, this is what you want to see, and this is typical behavior of a fifth wave when you start seeing this. Okay, and you can have those wicks to the upside, and then you crash down. Okay, nice little Bart Simpson that, you know, left a couple of long hairs on his head. And those wicks can be significant and can take you here to $56,000 and so forth. But yesterday, if you watched my live stream yesterday, I went through all the targets here where I'm expecting us to reject potentially. If we don't just fall down from here, probability wise, I'm still expecting us to take that little high. I'm still expecting us to take this high before we have a deeper correction to the downside. That's purely based on what CVD is telling me at the moment. Right. What else? Go through some comments. Maybe a contender for the one-line strategy. All good. Feel free to call me Nux. Okay, I've gone through that. XRP. Oh, God. Really? You guys want to see XRP? I think if my brother had to see me now, he'll say, what are you doing looking at XRP? Okay. Let's see if I actually have it on my list over here. Oh God, I do have it on my list, and I even have it marked out as... You can see I have had some attempts over here, trading, you know, charting XRP. Not an easy coin to trade. I mean, was that the trend? Did we break it? Is this the trend? Let's just keep it like that for now. To keep it real simple, I mean, that is so obvious. You have a trend over here. You see, and this is the one thing about XRP that just really gets under my skin, is this, are these wicks. It doesn't have smooth price action. Also, you have a breakout that's literally one candle. It's one candle that gives you that, and then you just come crashing down. For all the XRP lovers out there, I know it's got a strong community, but I'm telling you now that I've made more money with other coins than XRP, you know. Anyways, let's chart it. So right, so obvious momentum here to the upside, and I think the safest way to play this momentum, and let's just take the FIP here out the way, safest way to play this momentum is get as many touches as you possibly can. Okay, that makes sense. So so there's pros and cons. Maybe let me explain that from an education perspective. The tighter you put your trend line, okay, the tighter you put it, you want the most touches, the higher the probability that you're going to get a lot of fake outs before you actually get the real trade. So you would have entered, got stopped out, entered, stopped out, entered, stopped out, entered, stopped out. That is why I like to put my trends on the wicks, because then you avoid all the stop outs and you actually catch the true breakout. So you do miss the pros and cons. You miss a little bit of the price action. You could have entered lower, but you don't get fake outs to the upside. So I would say perhaps this is a better trend to have a look at. At least you have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches over here. Okay. And I know a lot of people will put it over there, but then you have another wick to the upside and you know, another fake out. So just leave your trend over there, and volume is pretty decent here at the moment. So keeping it simple, you know, you're waiting for this momentum to either break, you're waiting for this trend to either break to the upside, or you're waiting for this trend to either break to the downside. Okay. Right, which one will it be? So go and set alarms on both your trends. Okay. Cool, that's it for XRP. Let's move on. Okay, cool. I think I am going to call it a night. It's been a couple of... How long have we been on the stream? It doesn't show me here how long we've been on the stream, but I'm going to call it a night. Thanks everyone for joining. I really appreciate you guys. Please smash up the like, hit the subscribe for future notifications. I hope you had fun as much as I did. I love analyzing altcoins using my one-line trend strategy. Please go check out my one-line trend strategy in my videos down below. Or on my channel if you would like to know more about that strategy, how I apply it. And as always, if you want the real alpha, if you want the detailed analysis, if you want all your questions answered, if you want to become that ultimate successful day trader that can leave his 9 to 5, come and join our Legends Discord community. The link down in the description, 25% discount. Love you all. Have a great night. Until the next one, cheers for now.